Good afternoon.
How exciting.
Yes.
We have learned so much this morning. We have done this right here.
Okay, yep.
And we have done this.
Okay.
And we just did this too.
Okay, awesome.
So we've got, hey, you know what? Let's talk about this for just a second.
Okay.
Because we are not going to stitch this one out. So this right here, if you've done Kimberbells before, then you have done the applique before. So we're not going to stitch this one out. This one is pretty well explained in the instructions. If you have questions on it though, Lisa's right here.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yep. I would point out right here, I did my lettering a little too light. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it out.
Oh, good luck.
And I'm going to redo it in a darker color because I really can't see it.
It might be
because it says
just for you to get a tea towel and start over.
What does it say? Oh, get your creative juices flowing. All right, and I can't even see it. So I think I'm gonna redo mine. I don't want to have to redo all of it.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I really love this. This is a beautiful ombre tea towel.
I know, I love those ombre tea towels.
And you got it in your Bella box. We love the Bella box. All right, and now let me introduce Matt behind the camera. Matt, have you ever come on camera before?
A couple times.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, let's introduce him because
I love to
if
bring.
it's not for him,
I do need to.
Okay, I'll turn it on. Do you want to turn that one on?
Too? Yep.
Okay, we're going to get all set up here. I do want to introduce Matt. Matt, this is Matt. He's our filmer today.
Hi.
And you're so tall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're just going to get taller. Because your dad is really tall.
My dad's very tall.
How tall is your dad?
Like 6'3", 6'4".
So you're going for like 6'6"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely have to be taller.
Yeah, you got to be taller than your dad. Well, thanks, Matt.
Yep.
Okay.
And so if he's going to be answering a lot of questions behind the scenes.
Yes, that's
so,
great.
and if you have questions, he's going to let us know about questions. And you already know Lisa, because Lisa has taught a lot of classes. So you're no stranger to this, are you? Not a bit.
No, well, no, I'm okay. Yep.
And
sometimes I do get nervous, but
she has been our resident professional on embroidery.
Oh, well, thank you.
She
Barb.
has been the one that has always been teaching us everything. Yeah, they all say hello. Well, you can read. Matt,
well, and actually, they just said, hi, Matt. He is related to Kim.
Rather closely related.
Yeah, very close. Yep, that's for sure. So.
All right, so tell us what you're going to teach us today.
Okay, today we are going to teach the folio. Okay, I'm going to teach how to use the clear blue tile.
That's a new word for us.
And ladies, I have to tell you, I am loving those. And
they
actually,
are pretty cool.
I think mine's in the bag. I better grab it.
We had one here a minute ago.
I think it was out.
It might went back in the box.
Okay.
So I'm going to duck out.
Or do you want to look in that bag real quick before you duck out? I think mine's might be in there. Okay, so we're going to show how to line the quilting up, and that's one thing we'll do very first because that's the first part of our instructions. Okay, and then I'm going to go over on kind of how to mark so we can do because this is like a 6 or 7 hooping. Okay, so there's several different hoopings we're going to be using. A wash away, a wash away sticky back stabilizer for most of it, and then one we'll be using a wash away stabilizer. Okay, and
could I say something quick?
Absolutely.
All right, so I don't have a mic on, so I hope you can hear me. One thing when I stitched this out, and I really didn't pick up on the fact that how important this was until I was working on projects after. You're going to go through a lot of gooey, gummy stabilizer on
you
this.
are.
This is going to be hooped 6 different times at least.
Yep.
And change your needle. Get a new needle out.
Yeah, get a new needle out. I would start out with a new needle for sure.
And use sewer's aid
sewer's
on your
aid.
needle because it's going to get gummy because you are going to go through so much stuff. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 9 hoopings.
About 9 hoopings, yeah.
That's a lot of hoopings. And it's not that it's hard, so I'm glad you're going to walk them through it because it was a little intimidating when I first looked at this. Oh, I can't do this.
But you can. You can definitely do it. Yep.
You can.
And Kimberbell has made it so easy with those blue tiles. Clear blue tiles.
Change your needle. Have a needle handy.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, you know, let me hurry up and grab.
I didn't see
Didn't you see it in there?
I can go pull another one out.
Oh, let's just
Hey, while you're doing that, let me point out, and I know I'm going to have to
No, you're good.
close to you.
You're fine. I'm just, well, oh, that's right. Sorry, Barb.
'Cause I don't have a microphone on.
You got
Actually,
the
I have
mic?
one. I just don't have the thing. All right, this right here. Somebody in the last class was asking about the pendants. So this is the book that Kimber Bell did put out, and it has all this alphabet in here. This is being discontinued, so this is almost the last one we have. If you want this, if you'll call customer service, we'll make sure your name is
they need to call the Logan
the
shop.
Logan store.
They need to call the
Okay.
Logan store.
But we have it here.
This
It's
is
going to
the
go
old
to
one.
Logan. Okay, call the Logan store. All right, and I don't want everybody rushing to get it.
Sorry, Barb.
But there was one person that was asking for it. Okay.
Yeah, so call the Logan store if you want. We have a few on the shelf, not many,
we? Okay.
but we do have a few on the shelf. So
Did you find it?
yeah, I did find it. So yes. So okay, and then what I'm going to do is there's a couple of different ways to hoop some of the projects. So I'll kind of go over with you as well with those. Okay. So let's get started. We're going to open up our portfolio, not portfolio, our folio here. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is on page number 4. Yeah, they have you open this up, okay, and you're going to, and they give each section a letter. So that's what we're going to do. I'm pulling out my paper tape. Okay. Okay. Somebody was asking, is the embroidery in the same on the Chanel package with the alphabet the same as the Bella box? No, it is not. It's close. It's more of a candle wicking stitch that goes around the letters. And this one here is more like a little flower. But the candle wicking stitch is like a little star. So it works well. And then with the CD, with that So Chanel book, you can do it with just the letters, with the candle wicking stitch, and then you can put more fabric on top and make it chenilled. So you can do it both ways, if that helps you out there. Okay? All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to turn my book around. So this is going to be our outside edge here. Okay? Let's see. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to mark. So this is going to be E. This is going to be D. And then we have C. And this is the outside. So what I've done is I've turned it over just like it has on the instructions. So we have E, D, I've got C, and then C and the little extra flap down here on the bottom, there's all one section here, okay? And then we've got B, and let's see, let me give Rob one more. Okay, and now I have A. To me, this will just help so we know that we're all going in the same direction, okay, and make sure we get this right section here. Okay, so I have marked those. Now I'm going to turn it and go the other direction, just exactly like our instructions. And this is paper tape comes in handy for this. So we're going to mark the exact same thing on the other side, okay? E, and then I've got D. Just so we know kind of which way. And then as we work on that section, then we'll just pull those off, okay? C, B, and then I've got A on this end, okay. All right, so what we're going to do here, oops, is we're going to take a disappearing ink, okay? I have disappearing ink, or I've got one that this one here is air and water soluble. You don't really want to do an iron-on one. these are nice, but let me just tell you, I'm going to have you, we're going to mark one section at a time, okay? Because I marked the night before I went to do these, and guess what happened? Is they started to disappear before I actually got ready to finish them, okay? So make sure if you need to be ready to sew as soon as you're done, just because, I mean, it takes a few hours before it to disappear, but I really do like these here. Okay, so what we're going to do here is on page number 5, we're going to line up our blue tile. Before I do that, I'm going to come here on our portfolio, or not portfolio, I keep calling it a portfolio, our folio. And I'm going to come here, there's a seam that divides so we can fold these. I'm going to come in 1/4 of an inch on each side of our seam. Okay, Matt, I dropped that small ruler. Could you, yeah, right there behind the sandbag there, thank you. All right, thank you. All right. Okay. Okay. What do you, you know what? I'm not sure. I need to find that out, and then we'll get back with you before the end of the day. Okay, Anne? All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to come over 1/4 of an inch. So I'm taking my 1/4 inch line and I'm placing that right on my seam mark. Okay. And I'm going to mark that all the way up my side here. So I have something to line my clear blue tile up with. Okay. Now I got to make sure I'm marking this on the right side. So it says on the inside. So I am marking it on the right side. So we're marking this on the inside. So it is the, yeah, so once you have your little flap folded in toward this direction, this is the inside. Okay, so we're marking everything on the inside on this one. Okay, so I'm going to just turn this around so I can't do this backwards. And then we're going to come in 1/4 of an inch from our seam on this one. Okay. All right, now I'm going to turn it around and go back the other direction. Okay. So now what we're going to do here is we have a little center dot. So this is where our center of our design will be placed, okay? And I will show you that here a little bit later. But what we're going to do here is we're going to use the edge of our blue tile and we're going to line it up with the top edge of our folio. And then we're lining up the left edge here on our 1/4 inch mark that we've marked, okay? Does that kind of make sense to everybody? Okay, so I've lined the top up with the top edge of the folio, the left edge of the clear blue tile on the 1/4 inch of the mark I just made. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to mark. We're going to just use these straight lines here. Okay, and I want you to make sure that you put the arrow, because the arrow means it's going to be at the top. Okay. Okay, and we're going to mark all 4 of those lines with the little dot in the center. So then once I take that away, we have our crosshairs with the arrow at the top and our center point. Okay, now we're going to mark our second one and we're going to line this up at the top edge with the right side on the 1/4 inch that I just marked a few minutes ago, okay? And then we're going to draw our lines. Make sure you have the arrow at the top, okay? And then we're going to draw our crosshairs, and then we're going to put the little center point, okay? Now also, if you're doing multiple sizes, which once you guys, I'm just so excited about these, because you can do multiple sizes of the quilting, it will be the same size of your quilting. So then you can mark in this little window here that this is going to be a 4x7, okay? And then maybe when you're doing a quilt or something, you'll have a different size. But at this point, we're going to be doing the 4x7 on the whole entire thing right here, okay? All right. What pen am I using? It's called a Fine Point Disappearing Ink, Air and Water Soluble, okay? Nice pens. And now also with the clear blue tiles, you'll get a couple of pens in your kit with it. So, okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm lining up my clear blue tiles on the end, on the bottom, okay? And what I'm doing here is basically my 1/4 inch is going to be, there's a seam. So you're going to line, and that's about the same. It lines up your your little seam mark lines up with your 1/4 inch here at the top, okay? Where we made our 1/4 inch mark. So we're going to line those up, and again, we're going to hoop this 4 different times, okay? Okay, make my crosshairs, make my center here, okay? And there we go, okay? Now we're going to do this one more time. We're going to line up with our 1/4 inch here, which basically lines up with our little seam that we have going down the side. And we're lining our blue tile on the bottom, okay? We're going to do our little center mark. Make sure we get our arrow in there because we want to make sure it's all going in the right direction, okay? All right, there we go. Okay, so here we are going to do this 4 different times. So let's get started here. We're going to use a sticky back wash away stabilizer, and you'll do this 4 different times. So what I went ahead and did is I cut all my stabilizer ahead of time, okay? Now, let me talk about today. We are giving discounts today in our Kimberbell pop-up shop. So it is going to be, the code for that is BellaBox15, okay? It is up on our screen, BellaBox15, and you'll get 15% off of Kimberbell product. Now, it won't be like for the clear blue tiles because we don't have those in yet for a pre-order. And if Kimberbell items are already discounted, it won't go toward those either. But there is a lot of stuff, let me tell you, in the pop-up shop. So this is a good time to get your stabilizer if you need some, or some more supplies to do some more things in your Bella box, okay? Okay, another question here. Load all 4. Okay, someone was asking me if you have a larger hoop, and I think if you have, Zelda, I don't know if you have like a 9.5 by 14 hoop. I think you could do one hooping and then just do the first one around, you know, absolutely you can do that. I wanted to show kind of how to do it with the 5x7 hoop because not everybody has a larger hoop. So yes, that will work. All right, so let me get my hoop opened up here. And I'm going to hoop my stabilizer. And there is actually a section, right, Matt, for the Kimberbell pop-up shop. Yeah. I'm not sure where exactly it's on the screen, but it is in. Yeah, I know it's in there, and it's called the Kimberbell pop-up shop. Matt's going to find it for us, and then we'll let you know for sure where to find that. Okay. So now I'm going to get a straight pin here. And I'm going to score the top of my stabilizer. And I like to score and put an X down the middle. Some people like to score it around the outside edge. You can do that as well. And you put paper side up if you guys have not used the sticky back wash away. Okay. Okie dokie. Okay, he's still looking for it. Okay, so now what we're going to do here is we got these all marked. So now I'm on page number 6 and on instruction number 12. Okay. Actually, let's go to instruction number 13 because that's taken our stabilizer off and we've got the sticky now on our stabilizer. Okay. So let's go to step number 14. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take our ruler and we're going to make a crosshair across our stabilizer. And what I'm doing here is I do have some halfway points on my hoop that I'm going to just use with my ruler here. I'm just kind of hold those up there and do my crosshair across there. Okay. All right. Hopefully I can see that well enough. I might have to get a regular pen. Okay, let me see if I can make this a little bit darker here. I want people to be able to see that. Okay. And we're going to do it both directions, okay? All right, this is not working so well. Let me see if I can get a regular pen. Okay, maybe this one will work. Okay. Okay, there's that one, and let's get it going this other direction. Okay, there we go.
Someone asked, what color thread are you using?
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, for my quilting, I'm using navy blue. So what we're going to do is, right now, while you said that, I'm going to change out my bobbin. So when you're doing quilting, you want to have whatever you have on your top, you want to wind a bobbin and put the exact same color onto your on your bobbin. Okay, whatever you use on the top, just wind the bobbin unless you have colored bobbins that are that color. Okay. So I'll get that started right now. Okay, somebody was asking me, why don't you use your hoop template? Well, here in just a minute, you will see why I'm using what I have. Why I'm not using the template, okay? So what we're going to do here is I'm going to turn over my I'm going to go now from the front side. I've got my folio turned over to the top front side, okay? Now what I'm going to do, this is very pliable, so we're going to move this. Actually, we're going to fold on our crosshairs, okay? So here's our crosshair. And what I'm going to do here, and this is why you don't need your template, okay? So this is what we're going to do here, is we're going to line up the middle, okay? So our dot is going to be right here in the middle of our crosshair. And what I like to do here is I like to take a pin and poke here where my center dot is, so I can see that from my front side, okay? Okay. So then what we're going to do here, I'm just going to kind of poke that in there. I'm going to just push this down into my stabilizer. So basically what we're doing is we're stitching from the back side, okay? All right. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring it over to my machine, and I already have my quilting stitches that were on my thumb drive over here onto my screen, okay? So I'm going to be very careful, raise my foot, and I'm going to slide this in really carefully, okay? And what I'm going to do now is, sometimes when we bring it in, it's not like we've lined it up the way, but what I'm doing is I'm going to bring my little guide beam my guide beam here. See where my guide, I have a little red guide beam, and I'm not sure if on this altar that I'm working on today. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move my little crosshair over to where I put my pinpoint, okay? And then I can drop my needle, and it looks like it's dropping right down into the middle, okay? And actually, you know what I'm going to need to do? Oops. And make sure that when you stick this all down, that you have your folio untucked, because if I didn't untuck that, it would be stitched down. But I need to take my letters off so we don't get stitch over the top of them. Okay? Okay. So we've got that ready to go. Now we're just going to press, and it's going to start stitching our quilting for us. While this is stitching, does anybody have any questions? And I'm going to tell you, this does look like it's a continuous hoop when you get all done. It's amazing. So let's let that go here for a minute. Now, Barb was saying earlier, make sure you start out with a new needle. And then if you have problems with breakage and stuff, use Sewer's Aid. Sewer's Aid is a silicone liquid that really helps with your needle, helps it glide through better. We haven't put it on onto our thread, which makes it nice. And the other thing I found out is if you have an anti-glue needle, those are awesome as well, because that helps it so it doesn't get into your, so it doesn't become sticky, okay? So while that's stitching out, let me just turn over the one that I have done today, or did last night actually. I don't know if you can, it's going. So this one here, I've done 4 4 quiltings. Now this one here, I do need to rinse off the stabilizer. I haven't rinsed it off yet, but it looks like really a continuous quilting. You know, you can't really tell that I've hooped it 4 different times.
So pretty.
Isn't that pretty? So, but we'll do this like 4 times because repetition is good. I'm finding when I'm doing some of these things that the repetition is really good. Okay? Okay. Let's see. So quarter. Actually, we are stitching it in the left hand upper corner. Very first, right? Isn't that right? Yeah. It is. We're stitching the left hand corner first. Okay. What size of an anti-glue needle? You could do a 7511 or you could do a 8012. I know that we have both. Let's see here. Okay, somebody says they really like to use the darker color for quilting too. Actually, this is called navy, but it's pretty dark.
That is very dark.
Very dark, isn't it? So, okay.
You're ready to do another.
And now we're ready to do another one. Look how easy.
I'm going to watch you do it.
Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get our scissors out here.
You need what kind of scissors?
Well, I'm just going to use the, do we have the Kimberbell? Or those
Yeah,
ones
we
work
have the
fine?
Kimberbell.
Oh, this one's work fine.
Oh, they're back there behind the machine.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of cut this away. I've kind of started. So now I can kind of see what I'm doing from the back side and just kind of try to cut close. Actually, let's.
Now, why are you leaving it in the hoop to cut?
Just because I think it's easier because it's like down. You can do either way. Now some people will leave it in the hoop and piece the back, but I'm not gonna do it this time. They will like put a extra piece of stabilizer on the back side. But to me, with the quilting, I think it's gonna be easier if we just rehoop the whole entire thing.
I rehooped each one of mine.
And I think that's what we, just to maybe,
I just wanted it right.
right,
I
exactly,
wanted it
right?
Perfect.
But people do kind of do that to help save on stabilizer. But
I think when you embroider, you have to realize that stabilizer is going to be used.
it is, yep.
That's just part of it.
Okay. So, do you know what? Okay. I'm confusing myself now.
Well, I've done it and I'm still confused watching
Okay.
it.
All right. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to take another piece of stabilizer. I had the gal over at the shop, Ella. I says, Ella, could you cut me all these stabilizers? Because to me, it's just easier to already have your stabilizer already cut and ready. And then I just like to do my cross down the middle and then just pull those back up. Okay. All right, and so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a crosshair with my pen down the middle again onto my stabilizer. Okay, there we go. Now I'm just going to tell you, I found that repetition is really good, and that's kind of what we're kind of doing right now.
Good.
Okay, so again, we're going to take this and we're going to bend it back, and we're going to see where our straight line is on our crosshair, and see how our arrow once we lay this down onto the stabilizer, it's going to be going up. So you want your arrows to always go up. Okay, so your lines will, see how the, yep. So then we're going to use our little dot and we're going to line that back up, okay? So you're lining that line up with the line here, and then this line should come up here and just fold and go right onto there. But again, I'm going to take my pin and I'm just going to poke it where my, just so I can get my, the center just perfect. Okay, so I can see where my pin is, where the little dot is. Okay, make sense?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so then we're going to lay that down. And we don't even have to bring in another design because it's already ready for us to go. And we're
So
going
you're
to
not
carefully,
gonna flip it over and see the other side?
on this next one we will.
Oh, really?
Okay, yep. So we can kind of see what we're getting to. Because you'll have stabilizer on the back side of it. And then after a while, when we get all finished, then we rinse that off and dissolves and goes away. Okay. So here on this machine it has, again, we have a little guide beam, and look where my pin is to where my guide, yeah, that's perfect, right? So I'm just going to drop that needle down just to make sure. Okay, so there is another thing that you can do when we have, if we're going to, let's go start, we're going to go and do our first stitch. Now what I'm going to do is I stop that real quick. I'm going to bring my needle to the top, bring that up, and then you have a bobbin thread that you can pull up. So you're pulling your bobbin thread to the top. So then sometimes if you get knots, you'll have, yeah, maybe I better. Oh, okay, yeah.
Have you got it?
Well, I still need the tweezers, so I need to pull the, actually, let's,
Scalpel?
yep, exactly.
Doctor?
And I really can't say enough things about the Kimberbell scissors. All these tools are fabulous. So see now how I bring that bobbin thread to the top?
So you're not
No, it's not good. I mean, it still ties it off, but it's not going to leave a knot on the bottom. Okay? So that's just a little tip from Lisa. So now we're going to drop our foot and we're going to start stitching again. And then once it starts stitching, then we can kind of stop it and then cut our thread. Thank you. Call Barb, you're handy here. Thank you. Okay, we're just going to pull those, cut it off, and we're ready to stitch again.
Start.
Yep.
I
So
love
that's
that.
just a tip that I've learned from doing different quiltings. So, okay. Okay, and let's see if there's any more questions. Oh, I was going to ask Barb, did you find the pop-up shop yet? Okay, okay. So Matt has found the pop-up shop. Where exactly is that located? Or did you put a link in there?
I can put it, if you go to home.
Okay, so if you go to home and then click on Kimberbell, that's going to be the Kimberbell pop-up shop. Okay?
Well, and then
I'll go down to categories. Okay, go to categories and then pop-up shop. Look at you, Matt. I'm proud of you. And then I think he's posted a link too on our Facebook page. Okay. Okay, let's see. Can somebody tell me which stabilizer? Okay, today, stabilizers that I'm using with this project is a sticky back wash away stabilizer, and you want to make sure that it is a wash away and that it's sticky, just because it helps keep things in place for us, okay? And then on one of the projects when I'm sewing the zipper piece on, doing the zipper, it's a wash away stabilizer. Do you remember what other stabilizers they used today, Matt? Okay. All right. Okay, what type of needle are you using? All right, so today I think we're just using a plain 7511 needle. You could, actually not plain, it is an embroidery 7511. You can also use an anti-glue needle that's 7511 or an 8012. Now you can see that this machine is not struggling at all with that sticky back stabilizer. But if it happened to stitch out, let me see if I've got some down here in my drawer. There's some stuff that is called Sewer's Aid. That's really good for your thread, and then I put it on my thread, and then I will also put it on my needle, kind of rub a little bit on my needle, and just helps things go smoother. And I've told people that trick a few times. They'll come back to me and said, Lisa, that worked. So that makes me feel good that I was able to help solve their problem. Okay, so now what we're doing here is we're going to just cut this back as close as we can. And then I'll show you what the back side looks like.
Someone also asked if you have a larger hoop, could you do embroidery all in one?
Okay, yes. So there was a question here. If you had a larger size hoop, so I think if you had a 9.5 by 14, you can lay the whole thing down at one time and do your quilting. Okay? Today I chose to use the 5 by 7 just so, because a lot of people don't have the 9.5 by larger hoop, so we're kind of showing how to do the multi-hooping. Okay. And again, also our shipping, if your order is $75 or more, then your shipping is free. If it's less than $75, then it's a $5 ship rate, which is totally awesome. Okay, there we go. So let me show you, this is what it looks like from the back side. So we've hooped it one time, or 2 times, and then we've got 2 more hoopings to stitch out. Okay. An 8 by 12. Oh, let me think. I don't think the 8 by 12 would work. I think you have to have the 9.5 by 14 to get it to work if you're going to try to hoop the whole thing at once. Okay, 9.5 by 14. Okay, so again, what we're going to do here is, remember, I want to try to keep my arrows going in the right direction. So my arrows on here are going up. And now I'm going to take out my stabilizer, get a new piece out. Okay, now I got to find my pin that I had. Then I'm going to score. And remember, when you do this, you need to make sure your paper side shiny side is up, okay? And then we're going to score this back. See, by the time we're done with this project, you guys will know exactly how to use wash away sticky back stabilizer. This is really nice to use with hard hooping projects, and you can see that this folio is not an easy thing to be able to hoop, okay? Okay. And again, make sure when you're quilting, you're going to have whatever color thread you have on the top, you're using on the bottom, okay? All right. So again, I have my 2 quiltings then that I've done here. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come back and it doesn't really matter which side I do first. Okay. Oh, whoops. I forgot to mark. Make sure you mark. Okay. Again, we're going to mark our crosshair. Okay. And I do like this one for marking my, it's called a V Clear Water Erasable Pen. It works really nice on the stabilizer. There's some that you have a hard time using the stabilizer on that. So, okay. So let's see which way am I going to do this. Okay. Got to get this going in the right direction. Okay. So again, I'm going to find where my center point is. And I'm going to lay that right there with my crosshair. And I still like to poke my pin in so I kind of know where the center is. There we go. It's pretty easy to find once you've got it. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to, let's see. Yeah, that's okay. And it does get kind of bulky in here, so just try to make sure that you don't get anything tucked up underneath when you're doing the quilting, okay? Make sure you pull everything out. Oops, let's move my needle. Okay, and look at this. I think I've got my needle. Oops. I might need to just move it over. Well, not too bad. I think I got it pretty well lined up here. Okay, there we go. Okay, and again, I'm going to start it, and then I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to drop my needle and bring my needle back up, okay? And that didn't work so good. Let's see. I'm going to hold onto my thread, drop my needle, bring my needle back up, and then I can pull my bobbin thread to the top, okay? Grab a hold of that. There we go. And that's just going to create so there's less knots. And once it starts stitching, then we'll just kind of stop it and cut our threads to just get those out of the way. There we go. Okay. And sometimes you just have to kind of hold things up out of the way and make sure it doesn't get, this one's just a little bit trickier here. You've got to kind of hold the top in so it doesn't get caught, okay? Whoops, what happened here? So when you guys get your Bella Box stuff stands, I want you to see some posts. And then I want you guys to let us know how you guys like the clear blue tiles. I've done a few things with them. And I'm really liking them. Okay, somebody was asking where the pop-up shop is. Was it you go to the menu? Yeah, okay. Go to the home. Okay, if you go to the home page, go to Kimberbell, and then you're going to go down to categories, and then there'll be one that says Kimberbell pop-up shop. Okay. And again, today you get 15% off Kimberbell product. Stuff that is not on sale, stuff that is on sale, you don't get a discount on that. Or if you order, like do a pre-order on the clear blue tiles, those are not discountable either. Awesome. All right.
So that's where do you get the tiles?
Okay, where do you get the tiles? You can do a pre-order. I think if you just go to our website and do a pre-order, they're not in yet, but there is a I think there's a pre-order that you can I don't know if it's 10, there might be $10 a pre-order for those. I'm glad our cameraman knows what he's doing. That's awesome. He's going to bring up a link for us. Okay, and then again, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of cutting back as close as I can to okay, there we go. Okay, so here is the back side. Again, we've got the three that we've done, and you can see from the back side, right, exactly what we've done. But from the front side, it really looks like it's a continuous hoop. It's pretty awesome. Okay, so again, we've got one more to do.
Someone asked if we carry this felt, and is it wool or polyester, and is it washable?
It is going to be washable because we're going to rinse, at least we are going to rinse our stabilizer off after the project is done. And we will find out before the end of the day if the folios will be on sale afterwards. Okay.
Is it wool or polyester?
Do you know what? I do not know, and it does not give us the content on here. So we'll see if we can find that out as well. Okay, so again, I'm hooping up my stabilizer, paper side up. And I don't know how come I keep losing my pen. But the cleaners are going to love me. Okay, so then again, I'm going to score this. And you guys see how repetition is good? Because now, by the time we get the quilting done, you guys will be an expert at this. Betty Jo, I will find out for sure what the content is in this. I'm thinking it's just felt, but we want to make sure. All right, so I'm going to, again, do my crosshairs. Okay. And do our crosshairs. Okay. And then again, I'm going to hold this up. So this is the top half, and then I'm going to fold it down because we want to make sure that our arrow that we have is going to the top side once we get it on here. Okay? Okay. And we are going to do our crosshair, put our little dot, so it's going to be right there in the middle. Okay? And then I'm going to put a pin where my little dot is here, so I kind of know where the center is. And then we're going to flatten that out. Okay? So we're doing, so now what I'm doing is I'm stitching the bottom right hand corner. Okay? Okay, and look at that. I've got that lined up really good there. Okay, so I'm going to hold, this is what I'm doing. I'm holding on to my upper thread, and I'm going to drop my foot, and I'm going to have it so it's going to move over to where it needs to go. Then I'm going to stop it quickly, drop my needle, bring my needle back up, and that will bring our bobbin thread to the top. Look how simple that is. Okay, then we're going to drop our foot again and have it start stitching. And then I'll stop it here so I can cut my thread so that it won't be in the way anymore. And again, the reason why I'm doing that is just creates less knots on the back side. Oh. Okay, Judy, Matt is posting the link to the pop-up shop. And just make sure when you're moving this in and out that nothing is caught up underneath your hoop. I'm sure all of us have done that before with tea towels or things like that. This would be a good way to quilt like a table topper, a table runner, a small baby quilt, but you definitely could quilt a larger quilt if you wanted to. But this is just a really nice way to quilt this. Nice and easy. Okay, someone was asking if I'm using black thread. I'm using a navy thread, but it's pretty dark. So it does look like it's black, but the end of the spool says it's navy. Okay. Alrighty. So here is the finished part of our quilting. And the reason I did it darker so everybody could see it a little bit easier. Look at this. Does that look like it's kind of a continuous? You can't really tell that you've hooped that 4 different times, except for if you'll see from the back. But it's pretty awesome. I'm really loving these blue tiles. Okay, so again, I'm going to trim this all back. Okay. And then we'll get started on our next section. There's a couple of different ways to hoop some of the items that we're going to hoop today. So I'll go over some of them. And then, oh, come on. And you could take this out of the hoop. To me, it was just easier to leave them in the hoop until I got them all cut out. Okay, there we go. So again, here is our quilting all done. Look at that. Isn't that nice? All right. So now let's get back here to our directions. Okay, so on our section number B, okay, and this is going to be on the inside, so I'm going to turn it this direction. Okay, so what we're going to do with this one, you're going to, and I'm not going to measure mine now because I'm not going to do it, but I just at least want to go over with you guys. You're going to mark halfway this direction and halfway this direction, so you get a crosshair. Okay, so we're going to do a crosshair this way and a crosshair this way. So then we have a crosshair, and that is the center point for our next design, which is going to be creative is a way of life. Oh, creativity is a way of life. Okay, so you're going to mark that, and actually it's going to go, okay, so you're going to mark it from the inside, and then you're going to stitch on the opposite side. Okay, remember how we did with our quilting? So you're marking it from the inside, your crosshairs, and then you're going to line it up the exact same way we lined up. You're going to fold to where your crosshairs are, put it down in the sticky back stabilizer, and fold that back up. Okay, so that is how you're going to do creativity is a way of life. Okay, so that's how this one, and this is kind of what it looks like. Okay, and I did try to go off of the same colors as Kimberbell did. Okay, so then the other two, you're going to put in your stabilizer first. So again, I'm going to bring out another sticky back stabilizer. I'm sure that you could. Yep, for sure. You could definitely use a magnetic coop if you wanted to. Soluble. Okay. Do you know what? I didn't think it was really necessary. I think it worked out just fine without the water-soluble topping on the felt. I think it worked out really good. It's not really, really thick, and it's not like a towel. Most of the time, I mean, it's not like a towel, so it's really thick and dense, so your stitches could get lost, but it worked out really quite well, actually, without the topping. Okay. Okay, Diane just commented, she just did her first quilting with the clear blue tiles on her folio. She thought it was wonderful. So it is an awesome program that they have come up with. So okay, so again, I'm going to, and when I did my first folio, I did go in the order of what it's telling me to do. Today I'm just trying to help out with different hoopings. So you guys, so basically the creativity is a way of life is going to be just doing your crosshairs and then laying it down onto your stabilizer like we did with the quilting, okay? So the next one is going to be dream, plan, and do, okay? So when you bring that up, let's go back out and bring that one in. Okay, okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to stitch out, and I'm going to do the dark navy blue thread on here, and then I'll kind of show you how to line that one up. We won't stitch this one out, but we'll at least kind of show you how to line it back up, okay?
Which Kimberbell sticky back stabilizer are you using?
Okay, the sticky back stabilizer today I'm using, I believe it's called a sticky back wash away, or a wash away sticky back. You want to make sure you get the wash away because you want your stabilizer to dissolve and go away, okay? It's hot. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. So now what we're going to do here is I got to get my instructions to where I need to be. Okay. I got to remember which way this goes. It's this way. Okay, and so we're going to stitch on this side. Next I'm going to take my D off of the inside. Okay, so what we're going to do is stitch out, or I'm going to show you how to line up the dream plan do, and that's the one that's going to be right on the very front page, okay, of this. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking number E, okay, so here's our flap number E, and I'm going to put like right sides together, okay? So I'm going to line that up just like that. Fold that just back just like that, okay? Then, and just kind of watch the pictures. I mean, the pictures are awesome, okay? So then what we're going to do here is, I got to make sure. Yeah, okay. And then I've got this corner. Let me think here, Barb.
I think you've got it right.
Do I have it right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this right here, and we're going to line that up with,
But are you going to
actually this corner.
around? Or the word's going to be going the other direction because they're going sideways right now? Or does this bottom corner need to go up there? I think
Okay.
this bottom corner
Is it
needs
this
to go
bottom?
up there.
Oh, yeah, okay, you're right. Okay, review, let's go back. Okay,
the
redo,
pictures, right?
that's right. So we're going to go like this. So we're taking the bottom part of our folio with our E, so it's right sides together, and we're lining this up on the corner. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're going to flip it this way, and then when we put it into our machine, the design is going in the right direction.
It is.
So thank you, Barb. I'm glad. See, you were meant to come in and kind of help me out here, right? Okay.
I have to look at those pictures over and over and say, now make sure I've
So
got this
basically,
right.
that's what we're going to do, right? And then we will go forward, and it's going to stitch out Dream first. And then once it stitches out Dream, we will tape down one piece of iridescent mylar, and it's going to stitch over the top of that, and then we'll do a little decorative stitch on the inside of that. Okay, but we're not going to take the time to do that right now just because of time, but that's kind of how the Dream Plan do. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to work on section number E. Okay, so section number E is we're going to, and that's going to be the next one after, and that is on page number 19. Okay, don't hide your magic. Okay, so let's see if I can, well, I'm going to take this off and we'll reuse that one, but let's stick this one on here. And then after that, then we'll go over the little zipper pouch on the bottom. Okay, and again, we are going to see how we're going to know exactly how to use all this sticky back wash away stabilizer by the end of the day. So we're going to peel that back. Okay, and there we go. All right, so let's bring up that design, and this one is just going to be stitching words out. And while it stitches out, we can definitely stitch these out. Let's see here. Okay. So we're going to stitch out a placement line, and I'm going to stitch that out in black. And it is nice because they do give you a clear blue tile that came in the Bella box. That's what I've been using today to mark with. Alrighty, so this one here is, we are taking the outside, so the outside is the part with the elastic, okay? So what we're going to do here is we are going to place down our folio right there on that corner. See how she gives us a corner mark right there? And then we're just going to lay down our folio right on top of that, okay? Let me make sure I've got my tape off of there. I don't want to stitch my tape down. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping that that has helped to mark all your different sections with the letters on there. Okay. Okay, and now what it's going to do is just going to start stitching out for us. And it is a little bit trickier trying to get all this kind of out of the way and make sure nothing's out from underneath there. Okay. And this one here, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I am changing my bobbin thread back to white. After you're done quilting, you can definitely change your bobbin thread back to white, okay? All right, and then I'm going to put in, oh, let's see. I'm going to do some orange. Let's see if I've got... Oops. And again, make sure you have everything out from underneath there. Okay, let's see if I must have dropped the one I had. Let's go. Let's do this one. Okay. So this does some little curly Q decorative stitches. And somebody just says that they would like to use gray bobbin thread throughout, and absolutely you could do that. You could definitely use your gray bobbin thread. Okay, I'm going to change it to yellow for some little yellow flowers. Oh, let's see, do I want to, yeah, I'll do the yellow here. And how late did we go till that? You're not sure, okay. Oh, I was just trying to find out, not sure if they had a schedule up here or. I keep thinking 2:30, but. Thought I saw one. 2:30, okay. And there's some more little decorative stitches on here. Let's kind of choose a color here. And what I'm kind of doing is I've chose some colors that I'm going to do some of my other designs with. And so that's what I'm kind of gauging what I'm putting on this one, because this one's just basically stitching out a few things. Little decorative stitches, and then it says, "Don't hide your magic." Okay, somebody just asked me what kind of machine am I using today. I am using the Baby Lock Altair. It is a wonderful machine. I love the Altair. I have one that's equivalent to that. This one here has apps instead of having a camera, so you can do the exact same thing, but you end up using an app instead of using a camera. So. And what is nice too, that you can, this is machine embroidery and sewing, and it's easy to switch back and forth. That's what I like a lot with this machine. Actually, so while that's stitching out here, we are going to, the next project, or the next part of this folio we're going to do is we're going to use a 6x10 hoop. And actually, if you, so this is going to be the part of our folio that we're going to be stitching our zipper pocket onto, okay? So this is when you're going to use, it's called the wash away stabilizer. We're not using sticky back on this one. Trust me, I know. You're going to use wash away, just the wash away fibrous stabilizer, no stick to it at all, okay? Because I did the sticky back earlier and it was not good, as it really sticks to your vinyl and then you have to really clean it off, and it can be done, but just use your wash away, just your plain fibrous wash away stabilizer, okay? So I've got that all hooped up, and I'm using this in my 6x10 hoop, okay? All right. Now it's going to stitch out my words for me, so I'm going to put my darker color on there. Okay. And I'm going to do the darker just so you're able to see it a little bit better. And one of the reasons I like this is the needle threader is so awesome. You don't have to fight trying to get the thread through the hole. It just swings down, gets it in there for you. Okay, so now that has about 7 minutes. So let's kind of talk about how to get prepared for our zipper pouch here, okay? So what we're going to do, again, I've got my wash away. It's fibrous-y. It is not a sticky back, okay? And it is not a sticky back this time, just wash away, okay? Then you're going to, out of your little kit, you're going to pull out your lace zipper, okay? Lace zipper, and then you've got your colored vinyl we're going to use, okay? Okay. So now let me explain. If you do not have a 6x10 hoop or larger, then It says right here on page number 20, part number 1 on the zipper pouch. If you do not have a 6x10 hoop, see the vinyl instruction pocket sewing instructions on page 23, okay? So we'll have you, so there is a sewing version on page 23, okay? For you to do this, okay? All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull out our vinyl, and that was in our little embellishment bag that we had. It had like some felt, and so we're going to open that up, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you, we're going to cut this in half, okay? So we're going to cut it in half. We have the lengthwise. We're going to cut it lengthwise, kind of like a hot dog, okay? For you that have taken some of my classes, I do hot dog and hamburger. So this one here, I'm going to divide in half. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 inches approximately. So we're going to 6.5, so that's going to give me 3 1/4. And I think that's what this ruler is. 1, 2, 3 1/4. There we go. Okay, so we're going to cut that in half. There we go. Because we need to have vinyl on both sides of our zipper pouch, okay? Alrighty. Okay, this is getting close to being done here. So again, let's make sure that we've taken our vinyl and we're going to cut it in half lengthwise, okay? So you're going to end up having a piece that is about 8.5 inches long, okay? And 3 1/4 inches wide. You're going to have 2 of those, because we need to have 2 pieces on our zipper, okay? And some of the other designs are going to have little applique pieces, not very big applique pieces, but little small ones. So the Kimberbell box, if you wanted to do it just like Kimberbell, there is that little cutting page on there that tells you exactly what to cut the pieces for your folio, okay? Yes, Alice, I always have to triple check just to make sure, because I've cut things wrong before. So I say measure twice and then cut once, or measure three times, just to make sure. Any other questions out there that we have while this is finishing up? Okay, someone was asking, can this tile be used as a 2.5-inch border, or do you need to purchase a different tile? Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you want to purchase the set of tiles, the whole set of tiles, because there's going to be border blocks, there's going to be, square blocks, there's going to be rectangle blocks, and then there's going to be borders as well. So I think you would be very happy to get, after you use these, you're going to want to get the whole set. And then there's also, I think, an expansion pack, they call it, that for those who have larger hoops. They have the clear blue tiles for that as well. So never mind, somebody's already answering that question. So somebody was just asking about the colored the colored vinyl. And what's kind of cool about the vinyl is it's like kind of a darker vinyl, and then it gets lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. So like with this green, the green that we have, I think it goes a little bit darker or a little bit lighter, one way or the other. So okay, this is almost done. Okay, to pre-order the tiles, just go to our website. And I believe if you put in clear blue tiles, it should come up for you. Okay, just put in the little dot on the eye, and then we're done with this part. Okay. All right.
What's the code for?
The code?
Yeah, Bella Box 15.
Bella Box 15, yes.
Well,
Yep.
what does it do? This person asked what is the code?
Oh, the code. What does the code do? Okay, the code is used to get a discount on Kimberbell product for today. And I think she might said tomorrow as well. So today and tomorrow.
She tried to place an order for the Bella Box.
Okay, so the Bella Box, you can't purchase the Bella Box from us. The Bella Box needs to be purchased from Kimberbell.com. Okay, and again, I'm going to trim back the stabilizer. Okay. All right, there we go. So now look how cute that looks. Don't hide the magic. And that's going to be on the inside of our front cover. And then you'll stitch out a little design here, and then you'll stitch a design on the back side as well. Okay. All right. So let's get started with our little vinyl pouch, because I think that's we're going to start stitching some lines just right onto our stabilizer here. And let's go back. You got to go back out, drop that design off. We're going to pick up another design. And we're going to pick up the one that has 2 rectangles on it, okay? 2 long, skinny rectangles. That's where our vinyl is going to go. Okay, and I'm going to put on, I don't know, let's see. Maybe I'll do the darker one. Okay. So what it's going to stitch out very first here is it's going to stitch out a placement line for our our placement line for our vinyl or our pocket, okay? And I'm going to use the dark color here first so you guys can kind of, and then this is another place where you will want to have whatever, especially once we attach it to our folio, you want to make sure you have the same color bobbin thread as you do the top and the bottom, okay? Okay. And make sure that this is not a sticky back at this point, okay? This is just the fibrosy stabilizer. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to bring this back to the camera right here so you guys can see this. See how this stitches out the rectangle, okay? You have that rectangle. So what I'm going to do here is let's make sure so we are on page number 21. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'm taking just one piece of my vinyl and I'm just going to butt it up right next to, kind of center it. There'll be a little bit extra on the left hand side here, okay? And I'm just lining this up with my stitch marks here, okay? This is where your Kimberbell tape will come in handy. Next, I'm just going to cut mine in half here so I don't. Okay. So what I'm going to do is kind of center that because your stitching line will come in just a little bit. Okay. And we're going to tape that down in place. Okay. And now it's going to stitch this vinyl piece down. Okay. And it almost comes in like about 1/4 of an inch from the stitch mark that we had before. Because you'll think that your vinyl is going to be a little bit short because it just goes from the length of it, it just goes right to the, but you'll be fine. Okay, Betty Jo was just asking, it just goes to the stitch mark? Yes. You just put it right onto the stitch mark. Yeah, it says vinyl exactly on the stitchment placement line with your tape. Yes. Okay. All right, so let me take that tape off, kind of get it out of our way. Okay, and then we're going to do our other side of our zipper. Oh, cheap, okay. Okay, since the folio is thicker, okay, somebody was asking me about embroidery needle. Do you know what? We just have the 7511 one in, and it has done just fine. If you wanted to go to an 8012, I think that would work as well. You might want to do an anti-glue needle because of the sticky back stabilizer that we're using, but it has been just fine. Okay. All right. So now what I want to show you here is I got another rectangle here stitched out. So what I'm doing is I'm lining my vinyl, my colored vinyl, right up here to these stitch marks. The two short ones and the one on the inside where my zipper's gonna go, okay? Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna see if I can reuse this. Okay. And then then you have you're kind of like about a 1/4 inch seam that's going to come along, that comes in from where your stitch mark was before. Okay. All right. So let me get another piece. Oh, here's that skinny piece. Okay. So we're going to just tape that down in place. Okay. All right. Now we're going to stitch that one down just like we did before, and it does come in just a little bit and it catches everything. And we're almost done. This is the second to the last step on this portion of the zipper pouch. Okay, someone was asking me if you wanted to line the zipper pouch in fabric. I've seen people do that on Facebook. Yes, you could do that if you wanted to. And then what's going to happen when we're all done, we're going to you just rinse your folio. And I think what I would do is I'd probably rinse it off before I sew it all together. Rinse all that stabilizer off, then let it dry, and then sew it together. Okay? Alrighty, so now we've done this, we've done this. Now we're going to take and we're going to place our zipper, okay? And we're going to have the zipper pole at the bottom of our hoop, okay? And what we're going to do here is you want to make sure that you have, and kind of right down the middle, okay, of where your vinyl stitches. So you have vinyl, and in between that vinyl you have a little space. So that's where you're going to line up your zipper, okay? So I'm going to tape off my zipper right here, okay? So now that's going to hold that in place, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of follow my zipper, so it's going to be right there where that stabilizer is, okay? And I'll just kind of hold it down in place. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to tape it on the other end. I'm going to tell you, you really don't want to tape the vinyl too much, because this tape does like to stick pretty good to that vinyl. So you could get like Gooby Gone to get it off, but I just think if you just tape it here and tape it here, stitch that down, and we'll be good to go. So you could get your thread that's about a little bit closer to the size of your zipper, the color of your zipper. I'm doing mine just a little bit darker, and I think it looks nice. My other one I did about the same color, so it doesn't really matter. It is going good.
Well, look at you.
We are just about done.
Look at you.
I know.
I love it.
Exciting. So then what we're going to do is we're going to hoop up one more piece of sticky back stabilizer. But
Another one? How many
one
have
more.
you gone through? 12?
Oh, close.
I think this is, you know what I really
It is
like
so
about
cute.
it are the sayings that she used.
Uses, yes. Yep, for sure. Yep.
I think they are really precious.
I know, it's, I mean, I'm sweating up a storm.
So we'll tell them to be quiet.
Okay, so now it's sewing our zipper down in place. And then what we're going to do is we're going to flip over our hoop, the back side of our hoop, and then we're going to cut away our wash away stabilizer just from our, oh, I love to hear that sound. Okay. So now this is going to be the back side of our hoop, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take our wonderful Kimberbell scissors here, and we're going to poke a hole in here, and we're going to cut, oh, thanks, Barb.
Does that feel good?
It feels a lot better. Okay, and we're going to cut away that stabilizer just right underneath our clear vinyl. Okay, so then you can see what's on the other side of that vinyl.
Did you ever figure out why you can't take the stabilizer off where the zipper is? It's not going to move.
It's not going to move.
I just didn't understand.
I don't know. I guess it washes away when you rinse
Yeah, it
everything
does.
off.
It
So,
washes
and it
away.
does. Okay, and then you're going to, it says not to remove the stabilizer behind your zipper. It says right here, step number 7, do not trim stabilizer from the zipper. Do not wash away or trim the zipper or the vinyl at this time. So do not trim anything. All we're doing here is removing your wash away stabilizer. Okay, now this is where I had the problem when I used my sticky back this morning when I was doing this pouch. After I did it, I thought, oh my goodness. So I had to get everything wet, and then it dissolved the stabilizer behind the zipper, but you know what, it worked out. So
I must not have done that because I don't remember doing that.
so just make sure you're reading each step which stabilizer to use. But all the steps take the sticky back wash away except for this one. So I learned.
How do you like your tape dispenser?
I like the tape dispenser. Yes, I do.
Matt, was that your idea?
Was what?
The new
The tape dispenser?
the tape dispenser.
I wish. Wish I could take credit.
Okay, so now that we've taken that out from the back, and this is from the back side of our, remember I turned our our hoop over, and now we can remove this. You know what, Barb, I did? Oh no, I'm good. I'm good. Never mind.
Yeah, you
I'm
were
good.
good.
All of a sudden I got thinking, oh, I forgot to move my zipper, but I don't move the zipper till the next step.
And you know what?
What?
Even if you sewed your zipper in, do you know how easy that is
Oh,
to
you
fix?
can just unstitch
it's
it.
just a couple
So,
of stitches and that thing is ready to go.
yep. Okay. So now we're going to use one more. We're going to set our little pocket here aside. And let's see. I know I have a bigger one here. There we go. Ella had these all cut for me. Wasn't she wonderful?
Then you packed them over here and they got all wrinkled.
Well, that was at the end of the roll.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one here, we are doing another sticky back wash away stabilizer in our 6x10 hoop.
Or do
Thank
you
you,
use
Barb.
scissors?
Nope, I just use these. Okay, and then score. And don't score too hard that goes all the way through both layers, because then you're in trouble. You'll have to get a new one. See how? Oh, yep.
I think you're still going to be okay. You've got
Okay.
plenty of stick. Sometimes crap
How can
happens.
it happen?
Maybe, you know, this was the end of the roll. It could
Oh.
easily have been damaged right
Yep.
there. So,
Okay, well,
oh, it was damaged. Do you need some more sticky back? Let me get you some. So this is
Oh,
damaged
here we
from
go.
the end of the roll. That was already
Yeah, it
damaged.
was. Okay.
That's not what you did. Do
Okay.
you have enough, or do you want me to go find you some?
nope, I've got one more right here. Something
Well-
went wrong with my stabilizer.
Yeah. So that one I would not reuse.
No, that
No,
one,
that
it had
one,
too
was
many.
too damaged.
Yep. It was at the end of the roll and it just. Okay.
Now don't go in too deep there, Lisa.
I know, I won't. Not too deep.
But you didn't. You
Yep.
didn't before.
Okay, so then, oh.
you want me to finish? I can help you.
Okay, well, all of a sudden it's just like,
Ouch.
yeah. Just don't cut yourself on that little paper. Who would have thought that that paper, you could have cut yourself on it. Okay,
paper
so this
cut
is
is the
our
worst.
last, yeah, because they last forever,
Yeah, they
don't
do.
they? Okay. Alrighty. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our next design, and it's going to be the rectangle.
So really, this Folio has made you work.
It
You've
has
learned
made me
new
work.
techniques.
You have learned, yes,
But
definitely
look
techniques.
what you've learned.
We've learned a lot.
I love it.
And I love this. I am.
I think it was really pretty.
Okay, so I have had some people ask, are they going to be selling more folios?
That
Do
is,
you know?
we don't know that.
Okay, we don't know that.
Also,
okay.
let me point out that some people, now with the discount code that we're giving out today, where we use Bella Box 15, that is only for product in our store, on our website, in the Kimberbell pop-up shop. Some people have been confused because Kimberbell is getting a whole bunch of phone calls today saying, I want to buy the Kimberbell box, the Bella box, with my discount. That does not go to anything at Kimberbell. It is only at my girlfriend's quilt shop.
Okay.
We're the ones that are putting on this event. We're the ones that are offering the discount. It is only good on our website. Okay? And if you have any questions, you can give us a call.
Yeah, but you do have to order that from Kimberbell. the
You do.
Bella
That
box.
the Bella box goes directly through
Oh,
from
and you know what? I
Kimberbell.
need to hurry up and wind this color bobbin. Because I did the lighter instead of the darker.
So what page are we on?
We
We are going to be on page 22. And we are on page step 11. And we're going to be on machine step 1.
yeah,
Right?
yep.
Because you're going to start this
Yeah,
page,
and this
this
is
one all
the
over.
this is the rectangle that has the little decorative star stitches around it.
Yeah, it does. Now, on my machine, when I did this one, by this point, my needle was all gummed up. And so this beautiful stitch I did around my zipper was all gummed up. So if you need to, change your needle. Or I even put this...
The sewer's aid on there.
I put Sora's 8 on it, and it was just too gummed up to even use. I just had to change needles.
Okay, I think that will probably give us enough.
That is such pretty thread.
Isn't that pretty? Oh,
I love it.
okay. So at this time, whatever thread you're going to use on the top, put in your bobbin.
Because it's going to show.
It's going to show. So change and you should be just fine. And the very first step is we're going to stitch this out onto our stabilizer. Okay?
And this is Sticky Back Stabilizer.
Sticky, again, this is our sticky back stabilizer.
And if you ever have trouble when I talk about changing your needle, there is nothing wrong with changing your needle. They are cheap. Needles aren't expensive.
They're not that expensive.
I mean,
and
you
really,
can spend a little
yeah.
bit on them, but it makes your project better. Why not?
Yep. So I think we do need to
Definitely.
yeah, definitely change those out. So
Oh, my project's next.
you are, Barb.
I need a new needle, Lisa.
Yeah, you probably do need a new needle. Do we have some in the drawer?
Do I have? I don't know. I'm going to have to look.
I thought we had some at one time.
Well, I'm going to have a new needle, I tell
Oh,
you.
there you go, right there. See, we got you covered there,
Oh,
Barb.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, now the instructions right here. You're going to be putting the little zipper pouch right down here. Yes, it still has stabilizer in it. So if you're worried about that, you could probably rinse that off
You
at
probably
this time.
could.
I think
but
you could.
Once you rinse it off, it takes a day to dry.
Dry. So you just need to make sure that it's where you where you want it, right?
Yep.
Okay. So now what we're going to do here, actually, let's bring the hoop over here just so we can. Okay, we've got a placement line right here on our.
Hey, Matt, or
I
you
think
with
he's.
us?
Yeah, I think he's.
Something happens.
No, that's okay. Okay, so we're going to. We've got a placement line here. I'm not sure what happened.
hang on, everybody.
Sorry, I have no idea.
You know what? There you
There
are.
we go.
There you got
Okay.
it.
Okay, so we have a placement line here that I've stitched out, and you can kind of see it on the screen. That placement line is going to be where we're going to place the edges, okay? So we're going to place, it's our little corners.
And it's really better if you take the hoop out of the machine to do your
Yes.
placements. Otherwise, you really can't see. You need to stand
And
over
what
it.
you're going to do is you're going to center that. Let's just make sure. Yep, you're going to center that. Okay? You're just going to center that. There's just a little bit, and I would center, there's like maybe a 1/8 of an inch on each side.
A
So,
16th, maybe.
16th, okay, 16th.
Not much.
Not much, but I would align this edge here and then like center in between, okay?
Perfect.
All right, so now,
And if you have any question, even on illustration number 10, you can turn it over and look at the back.
I'll look at the back
to
side.
see if you have centered it properly.
Yep, you can, yep, definitely, yep, for sure.
Her instructions are so good.
Yes, they are. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to carefully slide this back in here.
It's a lot of work, isn't it, Lisa?
You know what? It is a lot of work. Maybe that's why
People
I'm sweating
think
so
it's
bad.
just a machine, but no.
You know what?
It's a
there
lot of
is
work.
a lot of work to
There
this.
is.
There really is. So now it's going to stitch out a placement line so we know where to align our zipper pouch. Okay?
Are you going to do it over here? Probably. huh?
Yeah, I think we should.
I think you should too.
Yep. And then I think this is where paper tape is going to come in handy. I have to tell you, I love Kimberbell paper tape. We're
I
doing
do
pretty
too.
good though,
Yeah,
Barb.
you're doing really good because you're almost done.
So, what time do you start?
Not till 4, but we have
Okay.
3 at 3 at 3.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And she's prepping out there for it right now.
Okay. Well, good. I think we've done really quite well. Okay. So what we're going to do here is this is going to align. Let's just make sure.
Has everybody learned a lot today? Have you been sewing along with us? I know that maybe this one you couldn't, but the other ones you
Okay,
could.
so this says change our thread to the desired color, match your bobbin thread. That's on step number 11A. Step number B, it says center the vinyl pocket vertically between the 2 tick marks. Align the zipper teeth on top of the tick marks. Tape in place. Okay? So we've got our tick marks that we already stitched out. So I'm going to just center that.
Just watching this come together is just so fun.
Oh, and at this time, please
Open your zipper.
open your zipper, okay? Open your zipper about halfway, okay? And then again, I like to kind of make sure that tick mark, and make sure like the center of your zipper is on that tick mark, okay? And then you're just gonna, let's see, maybe I can move this over just a little bit, just kind of center it. Okay. And actually, I guess I should have trimmed that down. Did it say?
Your
I don't
zipper?
think. Well,
No,
this is fine.
no.
I don't think I ever told us
Nope.
to trim that down. Okay. So I'm gonna.
I think it actually did earlier,
it?
so let me look.
Well, we're gonna leave it
Okay, you can.
at this time, and then we'll trim it all back. Okay. So now that we've got that all down in place, we're gonna carefully move that back to the machine. Okay. Tuck this in. That's right, I forgot about 3 at 3. Let's see here. There we go. Okay,
That's a lot of stuff to get under that needle, isn't it?
it is. Okay, so then we're gonna just, and I kind of like to hold things down in place. Now, when it comes up over the zipper, I kind of like to, your foot might be down just a little low, so I like to,
In fact, in the instructions, it tells you to raise your foot
To
up.
raise your
but
foot
you don't
up?
have
Okay.
to, but it helps.
You know what, let's do that right now. I'm gonna just kind of,
I think I didn't at the beginning and then realized I had to.
Had to, yes.
And
You
so
really,
I raised it.
I think, yeah, I think it's wise to raise your foot, but if you raise your foot, please raise it back down.
Lower it?
Lower, yeah. What did I do? Place it back down?
Yeah, you're going to raise it back down.
Okay, there we go. Just because you're going to
You
have thread
forget.
breakage, and you'll forget, and you have thread breakage, because I taught a class one time, and everybody that took that class brought their machine in, and that was the problem.
Is that right?
Yep. And it does
Looking at
stitch
that.
around there a couple of times. See how easy once you raise your foot up a little bit?
It really helps. And you've got your zipper head out of the way,
Got-
and it's
yep.
open.
And it's
So there's
open.
not a problem.
So,
Look at that.
and actually it's still, once this is done, let's see. I think it's so it does our decorative stitch, and actually, you still don't trim your vinyl. You're going to stitch
You're going to
out.
stitch the decorative stitch
stitch your,
first.
yes, stitch your decorative stitch first.
I think
and
that just
then you
makes
go
it
back
so
and
it all
trim.
stays together.
Yeah, I think so too. Sometimes if you get a little bit too close to that, and this is the candle wicking stitch, so that's what's going to look like on.
Oh, you got a red thread.
Oh.
It's probably telling you that your needle's dirty.
Well, guess what?
What?
Oh, there we go. It wasn't. Okay. Okay, so when if my thread breaks, I like to go back at least 30 stitches just to make sure there's an overlap.
When you say raise foot up,
Actually, in the Baby Locks machines, you go to the settings page,
I think any embroidery machine.
and
is
maybe
gonna
any
be in the-
embroidery. Go to your settings page and move the foot up. There's a little spot that says your foot height. So I went up to, I think ours is a 0.60. I went up to a 0.100.
That is so pretty.
So
This is where mine got ugly because my needle was dirty.
okay.
So if you're getting ugly stitches, change your needle.
Needle out, yep. And really, this little candle wicking stitch goes by really quick.
Yeah, it does.
So,
It's really pretty.
and actually, when I get these done, maybe I'll post it on our Facebook page. So
That would be
people can see
great,
that I
yeah.
got it finished.
There's your UFO.
They're my UFO, that's right. You know what, I'm gonna unplug this. I haven't needed it. There we go.
Can't remember if I need it or not.
And we are just about done.
We are. Now tell us how you're going to wash this all away.
I am just gonna take it and put it in a sink,
Are you?
I think, and just rinse it.
I just did
and-
mine over running water.
Well, just and running water would be
And a
fine
little bit
too.
warm.
Warm, okay. And then it just kind of dissolves.
It does.
And goes away. So,
And then I set mine kind of, I opened my zipper all the way so
Okay.
it could get air in there.
okay, yeah.
And then I set mine up kind of standing up a little
But I was
bit.
gonna say, I don't think
to
you
let
want.
it-
I don't think you want to rinse it
No,
or wring it
you
out.
don't wanna wring it
You
out.
want to just let it air dry.
I just let it
and
air dry and I just set it up so that the water would drip
drip
down.
off. Okay.
But there really wasn't a lot of water on there because I
Water.
just ran
And
it over
actually,
the top.
I think it looks fabulous.
Yeah, it does.
So
Fabulous.
fabulous, Barb. Okay, couple of questions. Yes. Someone was asking, will the blue stitch lines disappear? Yes, they will.
They are
Yep.
water soluble.
They're water soluble.
Water.
It's about a third down the page.
And if you have another pan that is air dry, then they'll disappear air dry. It probably was not a good idea to use a friction pan.
I don't think
it
the friction
suggests-
pan-
No, I wouldn't use that because you're not going to be able to iron under this.
Well, and I just don't know how much of a friction pan you're going to be able to see.
No, well, I had a hard time by the time even seeing my water soluble because of all the lines that I made.
Yeah, all the lines. But once you, but mark everything and then go back
Oh.
because it's going to disappear.
Definitely.
So, all right, there was
Betty Jo, thank you.
Okay, yes. Betty Jo was asking, can you use it in the raised position? So that's your foot position. I'm assuming she's talking about the whole selection of your foot. Yes, I did.
To do
And
that part. When I
that
went to
part.
the next part, I would put it back
So
down.
now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be kind to Barb. I'm going back to my setting page and I'm lowering that foot down so she won't have problems.
Okay, Cheryl, you wanted to know how to put fabric behind the pouch. I noticed that some people online were putting fabric behind the pouch. Did you see that?
I did.
It was really pretty.
It was pretty.
It was pretty.
And I think right before you go to put your pouch down,
Well, maybe before you do your markings.
your markings.
the
Yeah.
tick stitches, because you
Yeah.
need to be able to see where to
You
put
want
that
to, yeah.
zipper.
So I would put it down before you do your tick marks, and then
and
and
then,
it'll be kind of a raw edge, but it's
It
going to
will.
be underneath your vinyl, so I think it should be
so
fine.
you could do that if you wanted to.
Yep.
Yep. Leslie had it right. The putting your foot down is in your settings
In the
pages. You're
setting
not
page.
going to do it manually.
Yep.
I don't know of any machine that would do that manually.
Okay.
The big reveal here.
Here we
You
go.
need a good pair of scissors.
Yes, we do. So what we're going to do here is we're going to cut those back to that, and actually let's just cut all of it back at one time. How's that? Okay. Did it ever say to cut this off? Did you see?
No, it didn't.
I didn't think
No,
so.
it didn't.
Okay. I don't think it's going to hurt to cut it back. So I would just, you're going to cut back to that candle wicking stitch. Okay.
Just be careful and don't cut
Don't cut your
stitches.
and don't cut your folio either. Maybe I'm just going to do one layer at a time. Well,
You're doing good, Lisa. Just keep it going.
there we go. So you're going to cut all the way back to those stitches.
And all it says is the instructions, because we talked about different ways to take that stabilizer out, wash it away. Here's what the instruction says. Open the zipper all the way, wash all the stabilizer out of the folio until completely dissolved, and let dry.
Okay.
So it doesn't tell you how to do it, but we have had experience with it. We know
Yep.
how we did it.
Yep.
But I really liked this.
I think it's cute.
It is cute.
They think really out of the box.
There is no box.
Nope, not for them. Okay, there we go.
That looks great.
So then
That
what
looks
we're
so
gonna,
good.
you know what I like to do? I like to even keep my extra parts of my zippers and use them for little tags on my bags.
Perfect.
So
Yep. I
so
like
that's
it.
a great idea too. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna cut this one all the way back. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my zipper, and I'm just going to start rinsing my folio, and then I can finish sewing it together.
Yep,
and
you
the
don't want to sew it
instructions-
until after
after
you
it's all
have got
dried,
all
right,
the goo
yeah.
out of it.
So, and then just follow the
Yeah.
directions on sewing it all together.
Let's show them how to at least
Okay.
place it before.
Okay.
We have a few more minutes.
Okay. Oh, I don't want to.
You don't want to rush it, do you?
Want to rush anybody.
Does everybody feel like they understand how to do this folio?
Let's see. I've got it to.
There's too much stuff in there. No, don't cut there.
Oh, it's the stabilizer that
Yeah.
I need to cut. Maybe I'll just take this out.
Take
now.
it out.
There we go. So what size hoop does yours take? A 5x7?
Oh, 5x7.
Okay.
I've already got it hooped up and ready to go.
You are ready. Okay. So then I'm just gonna. And what's nice is I can just take and just slide my. Okay. So what we're gonna do here, right, Barb? We're gonna take and fold this down.
So this part over here,
Okay.
let's come over here
Okay.
to the screen.
Okay.
This part over here, this is going to be stitched there and there,
And we
that's
just do
going to
that
close.
with our regular sewing machine,
Regular
right?
sewing machine, you're just going to stitch, and I matched my thread because I didn't want it to show.
Okay.
And then my little notebook is going to
Notebook goes
tuck
in
in
there.
there.
Okay, awesome.
So you're going to do the top and the bottom.
Bottom.
Then you come over here, and this one is going to lay flat. this right here, and I'm going to use a pin, and I'm going to just tuck it under, fold it under just
Okay.
like a 1/2 inch.
Okay.
And it's going to be the same distance there as it is here, and I think that's a 3/4 of an inch.
Okay.
And then you'll pin that in place, and you're going to stitch
That-
there,
okay.
and that is all.
Oh,
And then this
okay.
is open. And the thing about this, let me get mine down.
Move that out of our way.
Is because you can see how this is exactly how that is stitched in place.
Okay.
But what's going to happen is when you fold it up, it's going to hook it all together.
Nice.
So it does not
I
fall
like that.
open.
Okay, I like that.
Isn't that cool?
That is nice.
Or you could bring it around to the front. You could have that be anywhere you wanted it to be. But there it is. It is done. I've
Okay.
even put my washi tape
Oh,
in
I
my
was gonna
little
say, what is
pocket.
that? It looks like little rings or something.
This is my washi tape
Oh,
that
washi
came
tape.
in
Oh,
my
that came
Bella
in
box. You
they
bet.
have some nice stuff in that Bella box.
It is amazing.
With the little containers.
I love getting little stuff.
I know, I do too. I do too.
I love it. And then I just took my board, and I know there's a Velcro in your Bella box that you could Velcro this in.
Okay.
But I didn't want mine to fall out. So I
Oh.
hot glued it completely
okay,
in.
got it.
I just
Okay.
did around there and slapped
Slapped
it
it on
in
there.
there.
Okay, good.
Mine's solid, ready
Okay.
to go.
Great. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, somebody said that having your stabilizer all cut is a time saver. Just to have, you know how many you need, cut that ahead of time.
Yes. And Betty Jo, you're to someone else, you're saying my thoughts exactly. Why would you want to cover the quilting? Are you probably, Betty Jo, you're talking about underneath, the zipper right
underneath the
here.
zipper.
Because this really is pretty. But I've seen fabrics in there that are really pretty too.
Yeah.
But I almost felt bad putting this down because of the quilting was so pretty. And then I said, you know, you can see the back. It's still there.
Yeah, it is.
It's just that right here, I've got a nice surface to write on.
Yep. Now, somebody was asking about the, is this a whiteboard? I'm assuming you could use it
Chris
as a
mentioned
whiteboard.
this morning that it could definitely, you could play dots.
There you go.
We
Take
could
it to
play
church.
dots, yes. You know where I'm going. They're on the angle though, so you'd have to have squares like,
Yeah,
we're
there
going
you
to have
go.
to play dots.
Yeah, there we go. We're going to have to do that. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Are there any other questions? I think you have covered so much. And this one to me was a little tricky. So
It was. And
having you show us how to do it, I think everybody out there, you're going to have the confidence to do it.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
think-
reason why you can't.
well, you can't do it. And you know what? If you need help, give me a call.
Exactly.
I'm happy to help. So,
Or you can email, whatever you'd like to do, because we can help you out.
Yep.
Or you can go back and watch the video,
or go back and watch the video.
because
Exactly.
it's going to
Yep.
be there.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
Okay. Well, you guys, happy Bella boxing.
There you go. All right. Right now you can tune in